Hello crafty friends, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Megan, I am the Crafty Quinn, and today I have for you some Halloween crafts to help you kind of get started on making crafts for this Halloween season. I don't know about you, but in our house we've already started celebrating Halloween in August, I know, but if you're also like me, maybe you started celebrating Halloween in some small ways. For me personally, if a pumpkin drink is out, I'm gonna go get it and I'm gonna go drink it, even if it's August, but that's just me. And I may or may not have already gone to Spirit Halloween, but you'll have to follow me on Instagram to see if I actually did. So today's video is a collaboration with Crafting in Mimi's World, Jackie. I have known her for a long time now, around the time that I first started my YouTube career, so I'm very excited to team up with her again, and she loves Halloween and fall just as much as I do, so couldn't have thought of someone better to partner with for this collab. So make sure to check out her video. She has one today as well. I'm gonna link to it down below in my description box. So if you've seen this video first, make sure to watch her video right after. So one important thing to note for this video, I do have a craft in here that has a lot of flashing or blinking lights. So if you are prone to seizures, if you have any problems looking at any flashing lights, I do not recommend you look at the last craft. It's just at the end where I show the finished product, there is some flashing lights. So I just want to make sure to put that trigger warning in there, just so you know before you start watching this video. So without further ado, let's get started on some Halloween crafts, some simple Halloween crafts that are adorably spooky to help get you ready for this Halloween season. All right, everyone, we are starting off with the first craft here. We are making a Halloween banner sign using these jack-o'-lantern wood cutouts from Dollar Tree and some scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby. As you can see, it was 69 cents, and that's generally the price of their scrapbook paper unless there's some kind of 50% off sale. So I just use those little cutouts to trace out the shapes, and then now I'm using my X-Acto knife to really cut everything down precisely. But I will say that my X-Acto knife is a little bit dull. I have to locate the other knife heads, so to speak, for this X-Acto knife. But that is the reason why it doesn't look so clean cut on mine. But if you use a decently sharp X-Acto knife, you should get better results than I did. But I love this scrapbook paper, and this is a craft that I've been wanting to do for a while just because I love the patterns of the paper so much, and I thought, even though they're all different patterns, I thought they went well together, and to just kind of make this a really fun kind of craft, because that's what I love about Halloween. You can be as tacky as you want, you know, the patterns don't always have to match and whatnot, and that is what makes Halloween crafting so much more fun, in my opinion. I'm all about the matching and everything, but, you know, there's a time and a place for it. So once everything is cut out, so yeah, you're gonna want to keep doing that for all three of them. And here we have, so this is our kitten that we got in July, and this is Eddie, everyone. He is now 3 months old. Can't believe how big he is. He was gonna start cleaning himself, and I was like, oh, please don't do that on camera. But anyway, he got so interested in what I was doing on the table because I was just sitting there cutting these all out, and he was just kind of, I guess, attracted to the movement on the table. So he hopped up here to see what I was doing, and then kind of became a little obsessed with any cutting or cutting out with scissors or using my X-Acto knife, and I guess he's now the crafty kitten. Marcus, my other cat, still has the title of Crafty Kitty because he was there first. But what can I say? When you're a crafter, I guess your cats kind of become obsessed with whatever you do. Eddie is so sweet, but he is currently the terror of the house. I think if there was a terrible twos for cats, I think he's in that right now. So once you have everything cut out, you're just going to want to use some just regular Elmer's glue stick on this. Mine's just called the Elmer's Craft Bond glue stick, but I don't really see a difference between that and just a regular Elmer's glue stick. I think I got mine from Hobby Lobby, so, you know, I wanted to make sure that it was definitely, you know, good for crafting and a stronger hold, if that's even possible with these glue sticks. But I think it generally works really well, but I like to put glue on the wood piece itself and the paper just to make sure. And for me, that's always worked out better when using the glue stick on both, even though it may seem like it's a lot of glue, because there's been plenty of times where I haven't done that, and then I need to go back and I need to fix it, I need to add more glue. So just use both. Use glue on both is what I would recommend. And then I tend to lay them face down while I'm waiting for them to dry. Or you can also put something heavy on top of them, make sure they stick faster. So I threw a bunch of ribbon together, and it took a long time for me to configure this ribbon, and it was a lot to put in this video. So what I like to do with these ribbons that I make is I just lay them all down in an X, and I kind of have each ribbon piece going a different direction. And then I always put burlap on the back of it and just cinch it in the middle there, as you can see, with some jute twine. And that is my secret. So next I just used some hot glue and I just laid them all down in order. Oh, there isn't really an order to it, but you know what I mean. And then I just hot glued on this ribbon, and to me, I think this was a good finishing touch to give it a kind of a rustic look. But I wanted to keep this craft just generally simple. So here is how it looks. And I love these banners, these wood cutout banners. I love making them. So this is a collab, like I said, with Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World. So make sure to check out her video, and I've linked it down below. So these are some of her amazing crafts. Definitely check her out. I love her channel and the things that she makes. I have her channel and her video linked down below. So for this next craft, this is, so I don't really know what to call this craft exactly, but what I was envisioning with this is maybe it's a ghostly car or ghost truck. So I painted the entire metal sign from Dollar Tree black, and then I don't know where the footage of me like actually tracing out all of the lines, but I used white paint across all of the different lines of this truck because the truck already has indents in them. So it was really, really easy to just trace along with a tiny paintbrush to make sure you got all of the edges and kind of not cutouts, but dents that this truck has to really kind of emphasize the shape of the truck. But this is a ghouly truck. So I did kind of the same thing. I laid down fabric in a bit of an X. A lot of these ribbons that I have in the ribbon that I'm holding here are a mix of Dollar Tree ribbon and Hobby Lobby ribbon. So those are the two places where you can find the ribbon that I'm holding in my hand. The spiderweb one in particular is a new one from Dollar Tree this year. So I was just preparing that ribbon, but in the meantime, I was trying to get the ghost ready as well because so I laid down the ribbon first, but I was kind of going about the ghosts a different way. As you can see, they're white there, but I normally paint those ghosts, but this time I decided to use some construction paper on them because that way it would cover up the holes on the top of the ghost head. So if you don't have spackle to fill in the hole of these ghost cutouts from Dollar Tree, you can just lay a piece of white paper on top of them and there you go. You don't even have to paint it. So I just glued everything down, as you can see. And then I realized after I made it, I'm like, you know what? I think their eyes need to kind of stand out a bit more. So I took some black construction paper and I just glued that to the very back of these wood cutouts. I have to say, I really love these ghosts that Dollar Tree has every year in their Halloween section. They are just so fun to craft with. They are probably one of my favorite wood cutouts, besides the little hot cocoa cups that Dollar Tree currently has in their fall section. So once you have them glued down, then I think this truck is pretty much set. Such an easy little ghostly, ghouly truck. And here is the final result. And I love these little Beetlejuice looking pumpkins. I got them from Dollar Tree, these little pumpkin sprigs. So definitely check them out if you go to Dollar Tree. And if you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe here in the Crafty Quinn family. We are almost at 13,000 subscribers. Can you believe it? It's been 2 years. It's been such a fun journey. So if you haven't already, please subscribe and check me out on Facebook and Instagram. So this next one, like I said, this is what's so much fun about crafting for Halloween, because you can be as crazy creative as you want, and you could use kind of like the most unusual things that you might think of to make some fun haunted crafts. So this little crate is a Dollar Tree regular. You can normally find it in the Dollar Tree Crafter Square section all year round. But, you know, of course they're out of stock sometimes, but generally they are available all year round. I decided to take some white paper to my shredder downstairs, and I shredded all these pieces of paper because I couldn't find just the filler that is normally available. I didn't have any, so I would have used maybe some white filler that you maybe would put in like a gift basket or something like that. So I didn't have that, so I just shredded some paper. So this is a stencil from Dollar Tree. I love this stencil. I always like to use it for Halloween crafts because to me, when you actually look at how the letters come out using the stencil, to me, they resemble kind of bones in a way. So I'm like, this is a creepy kind of stencil that I feel like fits perfectly with what I'm trying to make. Just a hauntingly adorable little crate. And I can't wait to show you the end result on this one. So I use a paintbrush now. So I was using, I guess, a sponge to kind of dab it, but I wasn't exactly liking the results of that. So I've now switched to using a tiny paintbrush for these stencils. I know a lot of you have been saying for a while, why don't you use a paintbrush? Well, I thought the sponge was going generally well, but it, you know, sometimes if you press down too hard, you get way too much paint. So that can really be a problem. And at least you can kind of control it a little bit more with a paintbrush. And also what was great is that, you know, this didn't come out perfect. And I think that fits with the theme of this craft even more. So I just drew on a little cent sign there. But I think you are probably getting an idea of what this little crate is starting to say. I saw this on Pinterest and I couldn't find the original craft where I saw this idea, but it was kind of like blink and you miss it. And I refreshed and I don't know where it came from, but I saw something that reminded me of this. And then I thought I'd just kind of go a completely different direction with it. And we are going to take Q-tips to make bones. I could not think of any other way to make bones. And I was Googling like, okay, how can I make bones for this little bone crate? And I couldn't think of anything. And then I saw there were people making full-on skeletons out of Q-tips and putting it on a sign. And I'm like, okay, well, what if I take that concept and just make bones out of it? so I thought, you know what, I'm going to cut the tip off of these Q-tips and make bones. And it is a little bit tedious, so I only made about 3 of these, because I was like, you know, you can have maybe the filler, the white filler kind of resemble bones, and then you can have, you know, 2 or 3 of these sticking out to make it look like, okay, here's what this is supposed to be containing. So it is definitely tricky, you know, you just gotta kind of bend the Q-tip at an angle, as you can see there, and then once you have the little end, then you just need a tiny dab of hot glue, and that is really enough to hold it in place. You don't want to put too much hot glue on it. And then there you go, there's a bone. and it pretty much dried right away. So as you can see, I have my bones for 5 cents crate here. Last but not least, this is my favorite craft out of the bunch. I had this crazy idea. There was some girl on maybe Instagram or something, and she was trying to create a maybe a Pottery Barn bowl that had a skeleton holding a bowl for candy. So I thought, what if I did that with 2 Dollar Tree skeletons, because they have tons of these skeletons out right now. I could make a miniature version of this Pottery Barn skeleton bowl. And what's great about these skeletons in particular are they are super flexible, easy to bend, and I could easily just put their hands and their legs and just kind of wrap it around the bowl here. And this plastic bowl is also from Dollar Tree, from a large Dollar Tree near me with their plastic bowl section. I just grabbed a little one. It really is a small bowl because these skeletons are so small. So I was like, okay, well, one looks great, but 2 skeletons holding this would be even better. And what's also great about these skeletons in particular, not only are, everything's flexible here, their heads move too, but they are also motion censored. So when you flip the switch on the top of their head, another reason why this was so great, the switch was easy to reach. It's on the top of their heads, but when you flip that switch, the lights light up green and everything. They are motion censored, so I will say that once you turn them on, they will keep going though, because they kind of feed off of each other and they sense the other one. So I think they think like they're both, motioning at the same time. So just remember that. But all I did here was I just spray painted the entire thing. Took many coats to go from that gray to the blue to the gray. Maybe I should have painted it beforehand. Maybe I'll do a few more coats after, because it did kind of have a little bit more of that blue show through. But overall, I really did like the result. And trigger warning, there is going to be some flashing light, so make sure you look away if any sort of flashing light bothers you. But this is how they turned out. So, like I said, they just keep going the entire time. So, it'll look really cool on Halloween, though, when people have to take candy from this bowl. So I hope you liked today's crafts. I can't wait to do more Halloween crafts for you. And make sure to subscribe and check out Mimi's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.